So we've now got our days of the week text centered on the screen. Let's talk just a little bit more about the app that we're building, because we haven't really done that just yet. So days of the week, as you may imagine, we're really just going to kind of list off the days of the week. And I know that sounds like a very boring app, but we will put a little twist on it at the very end of this entire chapter. The reason that we're starting with something so simple is that, believe it or not, this really exposes us to a lot of different concepts in React Native. We've already spoken about requiring code in. We've talked about some of the different view components. We've talked about styling. And in this section, we're going to talk about one of the most important concepts around React, which is the idea of composition of components, or nesting of components. So what we want to achieve in this section is we have days of the week right here, right now, right? Well, I want to add Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday below it. So if I said, we know that we want to just put some text down here. It's going to be static text, right? Just the days of the week. And we've already got this text right here. So chances are we could do something like, copy paste this, and we'll start with Sunday and go to Saturday. So we could probably start with Sunday, go to Monday, and so on, all the rest of the days. Well, obviously that's something that's super tedious, and if anyone's ever saw us doing that on a production app, we would kind of get laughed at. So we're going to do this a little bit more eloquently than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to define a constant at the top of our file called days, and it will be an array which has the days of the week that we want. So Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I'm over my character limit, but we'll just turn the other way for this time. Okay, so I now am back to just days of the week here, no additional text in here. So again, we don't really want to just copy paste or this text tag right down here. We want to dynamically generate the components that we need based on the data that we get here. So what we're going to do to start, we're going to kind of dive down the rabbit hole just a little bit, and then we'll talk about exactly what we did. So what I want to do here is, in my project directory, I have weekdays, and we can see that we have index.ios.js here on the left. And I want to create a new folder called src. And then in src, we're going to make a new file called dayitem.js. So we've now got the folder src with dayitem.js. I'm going to go ahead and close my file explorer on the left. And there we go. So what we're going to do here, what the purpose of this dayitem file is we're going to create a new component. And this component is going to have one very simple, very boring job, and that's going to be just to display a single day of the week. So in the same way that we had 4 sections of code in index.ios.js, we're going to have 4 sections of code in dayitems. Let's start by writing out those comments. So we will import some code we need. We will create our component. We'll style our component. And then we're going to make this code available elsewhere. And so remember, in the previous file, the last section here, its job was to make sure that the component showed up on the screen. But as we said previously, that only ever needs to happen once per application. We only ever really render one root component per app. So in every other file that we create, what we're actually going to do is add a little chunk of code in here to make sure that we can make the code that's inside of this file available elsewhere. And in this case, available inside of index.ios.js. As a reminder, all the code that we write in these separate files, it's all sandboxed, it's all siloed. We don't inherently get access to it anywhere else. So if we want to make use of the code that's inside of here somewhere else, we have to be very explicit and form that linkage together, or form that linkage ourselves. So with all this in mind, we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing we need to do is import the code we need, which again is going to be the React library. So we will require in React-native, and then we're going to pull two properties off of here, just text and style sheet. Cool. Next thing we're going to do is create our component. So this will be another instance of using the create class syntax. So we'll create our component, which is going to be called day item, and we'll use react.createClass, which is used to create a new React component. We'll pass in an object, which again is going to have one function or one property, which will be the render method. And then from here, we'll return a text tag. And for right now, it's just going to have the text, a day of the week. Nice and plain, nice and boring, right? So let's go ahead and save this, and we're going to go ahead and get continued inside of the next section.